We are ready. So we're with Sean O'Connor today, and we've been working with him on some PreSearch activities, and he's going to tell us about some of the seed ideas and enlighten us with the frenzy concept that we incorporated into PreSearch.
So I learned about the reading frenzy at the conference I went to in New Orleans with Smokey Daniels and Nancy Steinke, and loved the idea, loved the concept. It gave me a way to guide my students into ideas that they might want to research, but let them think that they had total control over what they're going to research. I modified it a little bit just because of resources and paper. Instead of giving every student a huge packet with a million different articles, not a million, but a good amount, what I did was had about 25 different articles, had a couple of copies of each, and just covered the table with them. What I encouraged the kids to do was pick one up, start reading it. If they liked it, keep reading it. If they didn't like it, pass it or put it back in the pile in the middle of the table. It worked really well. Students all found something that they were interested in that they could read. Buffy did a great job picking articles that were of high interest, often had graphics and other non-textual features that were important to really draw the kids into the topics. When we left, they all had an idea of what they wanted to do, and in some cases they asked her for additional resources, and she was able to go look them up and print them on demand. This was all part of the PreSearch. We're really just starting to think about what they're going to research, but they've all found something they're interested in now. They all know, hey, I like this, and they think it was completely their idea, and I'm going to let them keep thinking that.
Yeah, and that was so much fun, I think, that day, because they were all excited, and to see them as they read and passed around different articles, how that was sparking ideas and interest, and then they started making requests or asking for maybe articles that were related to that broad topic, but then they wanted something more specific, like a particular angle. And that was really fun for, I think, us to just see them getting excited and taking ownership of a topic and kind of picking a direction to go with.
Yeah, and they all started to get to the point where they were sharing with, oh, hey, I think this is what you want. You take this, what'd you find? And so it became kind of a communal helping of each other, especially the way the tables were arranged and that they could share, and they were all close proximity. It was a very open kind of social event, but there was a lot of reading and thinking that was happening. It just wasn't the standard, here, you read this article, this is the topic that you're going to be researching.
Yeah. It was also fun to see, I know one of the classes I was down there where they were using the selfie stick to kind of document, their reading and activity. So.
We had fun with that, and I let them play with it. They'd never seen it before.
Yeah.
I had fun with it.
Our newest addition to our collection.
Very much so.
I was just going to ask you real quickly, I know we did some mapping activities kind of as our precursor to the frenzy. Was there anything you wanted to share about the mapping?
Well, we did a couple of things with it after we did some of the thought process. They're linking it to motifs that we saw in To Kill a Mockingbird, but we didn't limit them to that.
Right.
So if they found something, racism came up, they linked specifically to some of the text, but then I asked them to think about other things they'd seen. So within racism, police brutality, somebody put here Jackie Robinson, Tom Robinson from the story, from the novel, and then some football. Some folks wanted to explore racism in sports. We can see gender roles was another one that came up kind of naturally, and then we expanded on it. And kind of thoughts, and then what I had them do, you see some of the sticky notes, a lot of them got taken because they needed to use them, the students did, but some of the sticky notes were questions, research questions that they started to come up with, ideas that they had, where their next steps are going to be, what the research, in some cases, what are the questions that they want answered?
Yeah.
And that was interesting. We're now taking that the next step and beginning to narrow topics. And they have research questions, so it's not just, somebody was talking about Tamir Rice this morning, the incident, the unfortunate, horrible incident in Cleveland, and it's not just what happened, when it happened, but the student is going to start investigating some of the things around it that were happening that led to the event. So it's not just the newspaper report. There's actually some inquiry happening, and it's going to lead to a lot more depth on the topic. So it'd be interesting to see what form this takes and the shape it goes.
Absolutely. And I know, I think for me, this mapping activity with the motifs and then brainstorming was helpful for me to get ideas for types of articles to pull them for the frenzy activity. And it's just really exciting and heartwarming, if you will, for us. And I know you too, to see them now. As you said, they're moving forward and they're, refining that, which of course is always one of the big challenges in research, getting a good topic and then really getting a focus that the students really engaged with and kind of narrowing or cropping that topic, so to speak. So we're excited to see what they do with this after the break.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing the frenzy concept with us and how we've incorporated that into PreSearch, and we'll chat with you after the break.
Can't wait.
Thanks.